Hey there, it's John from Heroes and Legends, and welcome to part 4 of our 4-part Commander Anthology Spotlight series. Today we're looking at the 4th deck in this product, and it is Plunder the Graves. So if you haven't watched the other videos in the series, basically to catch you up, Commander Anthology comes out June 9th. It consists of 4 reprinted Commander products from the past, and over the course of the week, we've looked at each one of these decks, this being the last one. There's a playlist if you'd like to check it out. But what we're going to do today is look at the complete deck list for this deck. You're going to see every single card that's involved. And then on top of it, we're going to look at the value of the original printings of these singles, so you just have at least a vague idea of what you can expect value-wise. Now, at the end of the video, I'll add up the value from all 4 videos, and we'll see what total we come to. Now, quickly before we get started, though, fast reminder, if you check out the description below, you'll find a couple ways to help support the channel, one of which is our Amazon affiliate store. Any purchases you make to any Amazon sellers through those links, a small percentage will come back to help support the channel. Secondly, we have our Patreon page, another great way to support us. So having said all that, let's get into today's information. And just a fast recap in case you didn't watch the other videos. This product, Commander Anthology, comes out June 9th. It has a MSRP of $164.99, and like I said at the open, it reprints 4 decks that were previously released as Commander decks in the past. You also get 4 life counters that are unique. You get the tokens that are associated with the cards, a little bit of a lore package in the little booklet in the middle, and some decent looking deck boxes too. Now, the 4 decks that will be contained within the box are, first off, Heavenly Inferno from the original Commander release in 2011, featuring Kalia. One thing I do want to point out too, the main commander, the one card that they consider the main commander in these 4 decks, will be in foil, so that's important to note. The second deck you'll get is Evasive Maneuvers from Commander 2013. Guided by Nature, this is the one we looked at yesterday from Commander 2014. And finally, the deck we're going to look at today, Plunder the Graves, Commander 2015. Alright, so let's talk a little bit quickly about this Plunder the Graves deck. It's a very focused deck. It's really trying to get your graveyard full of stuff and then reanimate. That's its ultimate goal. Now, it's doing a few other things. You're going to find a lot of interesting flyers, some big, some small, that can grow. You'll find a lot of ways to grow your creatures, and in some cases, throw a lot of counters on things and really help you go wide in certain circumstances. So the deck does have some other tricks up its sleeve, but for the most part, it's very, very focused on graveyard recursion. You're going to see that as we go through the deck list, and we'll start off with the commander herself, Marin of Clan Neltoth, $9.75. She's a mythic, of course, and she's actually a phenomenal commander. She's got a nice price tag attached to her. The version you'll be getting in this product, of course, will be foil. I want to point that out. But she does play with the whole experience counter mechanic, which is something they introduced in Commander 2015, and I actually really liked a lot. I'd like to see more of that in the future. Next, we have Champion of Stray Souls, 62 cents. This one's a mythic, very indicative of what this deck's trying to do, sacrificing stuff and returning creatures from the graveyard to the battlefield. Another mythic with Gerard Golgari, Lich Lord, and this can double as your commander, which is pretty cool to have some flexibility, but I don't know if this would be my first choice as a commander in this particular build, but it's a good supplemental card for sure. Mizarek Kraul Death Priest. This one's interesting to me because it does cost 5 for a 2/2 flyer. I don't like that. However, whenever a player sacrifices another permanent, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So that includes this one, but others as well. That could be interesting in this deck because, of course, you have a ton of ways to sacrifice stuff. But there's also a lot of cards in here that create opportunities to force your opponent to sacrifice stuff. So that could get interesting. This one's valued currently at $3.76. Bloodspore Thrynax, $3.95. It has Devour, which again is another way to sacrifice stuff on the board and still find some value out of it. Devour is actually a pretty fun mechanic. I think it came from Scourge way back in the day. Butcher of Malachor, 33 cents. And here's the first example of a card that forces your opponents to sacrifice. Basically has a built-in Grave Pact. Centaur Vine Crasher at 47 cents. Cloud Thresher at 39 cents. Eater of Hope at 28 cents. And here you start to see a little bit of the flying sub-theme. You get some big flyers definitely in this particular product. Speaking of which, Extractor Demon, 28 cents. Kessick Cage Breakers, 31 cents. This is great in the late game if you have a really stocked graveyard. Lotleth Troll, 59 cents. I always really loved this card. It's not financially worth a lot, but it's great in zombie decks. It's easy to regenerate it for 1 black. It just does a lot for 2 mana. I mean, it comes in as a 2/1. It has trample, but discarding a creature card gives it a permanent +1/+1 counter. Eventually that becomes a thing if your opponents can't deal with the card by exiling it or something like that, as long as you hold the mana back to regenerate consistently. And on top of that, it's a discard outlet for creatures, which is really nice in this type of deck. Mycoloth, $1.80, another card that messes around with Devour. And this one's going to give you some Saprolings. You'll see a few cards that give you Saproling tokens. Just easy expendable things to sacrifice if you need to. Pathbreaker Ibex at $4.41. Card that does reward you for going wide and maybe using some of those small Saprolings to get in there for a really big attack at times. But regardless, it has a lot of power behind it. I mean, a lot of players in Commander or in Cubes, they use things like Craterhoof Behemoth. This card isn't quite that, but you know what? It's a lot cheaper to cast, and sometimes it still gets the job done. Phyrexian Plague Lord, 30 cents. I remember back in the day when this card was actually a big deal. Times have changed. It's not super powerful in today's landscape, but it's decent in this deck. Scourge of Neltoth, $1.49, so you get another big flyer here with an ability. Terastodon, 39 cents. Huge classic beater, not super expensive financially just because it has been printed in a lot of these supplemental products. As a matter of fact, we saw a copy in yesterday's deck too, so if you buy this box set, you're going to get 2 copies. Verdant Force at 33 cents, another way to create some Saproling tokens. Viridian Zealot, another card that will sacrifice for an effect, 39 cents. Vulturous Zombie at 36 cents, another flyer that could potentially get large as the game goes on. Alright, let's look at the uncommon creatures you'll get. There's some good ones here. First off, you have Acidic Slime, 25 cents, always a classic card. Banshee of the Dread Choir, 22 cents. This has Myriad, which was a cool mechanic that they introduced in this particular series. And what it does is when you attack with a creature, if I attack an opponent, basically I create a token copy of the creature attacking all the other opponents. So I get to attack everyone with 1 creature, basically, is how it works. The tokens go away at the end of combat, but still, I thought it was a cool idea. They have Caller of the Pact, which also has Myriad. You have Corpse Augur at 29 cents. Eternal Witness at $4.99. Fantastic cards. He's playing Modern. And Great Oak Guardian at 24 cents. Let's look at the rest of the uncommon creatures. We have Indrik Stomp Howler, 17 cents. Good way to deal with an artifact or enchantment. Corozda Guildmage, 19 cents. Awesome, awesome mana sink. Shriekmaw, 99 cents. Skullwinder, 28 cents. Thief of Blood, 32 cents. And finally, Wall of Blossoms at 68 cents. So what kind of common creatures are you getting? Well, actually quite a few. You get Blood Baron at 15 cents. Very similar to Nantuko Husk. Of course, it's a vampire, but maybe more importantly, it can't sacrifice itself to its own ability. That can come into play sometimes. Phyrexian Rager at 15 cents. Sakura Tribe Elder at 51 cents. Satyr Wayfinder at 17. Verdian Emissary at 16. And Wood Elves at 22 cents. Alright, let's move on to the sorceries, and we're going to start off with a rare with Dread Summons at $1.22. Get some zombie tokens here with this card. Overwhelming Stampede at 44 cents. Potentially can close out a game. Very powerful finishing effect. Next we have Sever the Bloodline, another rare, 28 cents. This is great removal. It's exile, so it deals with some problematic creatures like Indestructible or Regeneration. And even though that secondary ability of exiling everything with the same name isn't going to always come into play, especially in Commander, it is really good against the token strategy, which is awesome to kind of pull out of your deck if you need it. But at the same time, even if that's not the case, this is still a good card, and it has flashback to boot. Alright, let's look at some uncommon sorceries. We have Ambition's Cost at 24 cents. Barter in Blood, which causes your opponents to sacrifice creatures at 17 cents. Rise from the Grave, 18 cents. Reanimation spell, of course. Spider Spawning at 17 cents. I loved this card in Innistrad Limited. Like, drafting the Spider Spawning deck was awesome. I had a lot of success with that deck. Victimize, 29 cents. Perfect for this deck. It sacrifices and it recurs. Just what this deck wants to do. And you get a couple interesting commons with Mulch at 15 cents to help stock your graveyard. And Primal Growth at 19 cents. All right, let's look at the instance you'll find here. Wretched Confluence at 92 cents. I love this cycle. This is a phenomenal cycle of cards that was introduced in Commander 2015. Now, financially, this one isn't as high as, say, the red or blue ones, which do see play that cross over into other formats like Legacy, but this is still very good in Commander. And we got some uncommons here with Golgari Charm at 35 cents, Putrefy at 27 cents, and another card that is going to cause opponents to sacrifice things, Tribute to the Wild at 19 cents. And you get a couple commons here. Altar's Reap at 15 cents, another sack outlet. Grizzly Salvage, 17 cents. Alright, let's look at some artifacts. So you get some good ones here again. Eldrazi Monument. This one's a mythic, $5.34. This is actually an awesome card, not only in this deck, but just in general in a lot of creature-heavy commander decks. This is a great inclusion. Bone Horde, 30 cents. It's a living weapon. You get a Germ token. That's awesome. And 3 uncommon artifacts you get here are actually maybe 3 of the best you can ask for from a product like this. Lightning Greaves, $4. Amazing commander card. Skull Clamp, very powerful, $1.92. And it's especially good if you have a lot of small creatures like some of these Sapperling tokens. And finally, I've gushed about this card all week, but yes, you do get a playset if you buy this product. Sol Ring, not that you can use a playset really anywhere, but Sol Ring, $3.06, and it's amazing. You get a couple commons, Golgari Signet, 19 cents, Thought Vessel, $2.75. Alright, we'll move on to the one enchantment that you get. It's Diabolic Servitude, 19 cents. Fairly old card, as you can tell by the wall of text there. Alright, let's look at the non-basic lands. And there's some decent ones here. I like Grim Backwoods. Nice way to draw into some extra cards later on. 29 cents. And Highmark is a fantastic sack outlet at 88 cents. As far as your uncommons go, they're going to give you a little bit of fixing here with Tainted Wood, 32 cents. Vivid Grove at 29 cents. And Vivid Marsh at 25 cents. Alright, let's look at the common lands that they're going to give you. And you'll see a few things here. I mean, some of this is, of course, for fixing, but also you'll find cards here that are going to help play into the sacrifice mechanics. We'll start off with Command Tower at $1.29. I mentioned in the other videos. If you don't have this for some reason, you play Commander, it's a great pickup. The Omnipresent, Evolving Wilds at 15 cents. Another card you'll have a play set of if you pick up the box set. Golgari Guildgate at 17 cents. Golgari Rot Farm at 28 cents, Jungle Hollow at 15 cents, Polluted Mire at 16 cents, Slippery Karst at 15 cents, and finally Terramorphic Expanse at 17 cents. And finally, of course, for basic lands, you'll find Forests and Swamps here, 12 forests and 13 swamps. Now, let's pretend these have no value. What is the grand total of all the cards we saw today? It is $69.01. Actually not bad for a product that came out just a couple of years ago and had a pretty significant print run. Now, I do want to point out, though, that once this product hits stores, a lot of the cards could go down in value a little bit, especially the higher value ones, just due to the fact there's going to be more copies out there. And secondly, the original cards may hold a little more value than the reprinted version that we're going to see. However, there is a chance that some of that loss will be offset by the fact that the main commanders in this product, the 4 cards that are going to be featured in foil, may have a higher value in some cases than their original counterparts. So we'll kind of have to wait and see how that all pans out, how the market digests that. But at least for right now, let's compare the totals of the 4 decks and see what we come to. A few days ago, we looked at Heavenly Inferno, worth $135.13. Evasive Maneuvers down a little bit at $58.53. Guided by Nature, we saw yesterday $87.98. And then today, of course, we looked at Plunder the Graves at $69.01, which comes to a grand total of $350.65. It's actually really good considering the MSRP for this product is $164.99. There's definitely a lot of value to be found here. So my advice is, first off, if you're interested in picking up the product, shop around a little bit, try to find the right deal. Some places will hike the price up, maybe a little too much. Eventually, especially after it hits shelves, if it doesn't sell well right away, some sellers may panic and bring the price down. So stick really close to TCG Player, the big marketplaces like eBay, Amazon. Kind of watch how this unfolds over the course of the next week or so. But I do feel like Wizards is going to put plenty of copies of this out there, much like they did last year. And you can get that actually quite cheap right now. The only difference is that Kalia especially is kind of a chase card, although I feel like a lot of folks will just want to try to pick that up as a single. So ultimately, to wrap things up, who is this product for? Why would you buy it? I think it's for a couple different types of players. One of which is your casual Commander player. So maybe I'm new to the format, or maybe I haven't played Commander very long, but I want to pick up a lot of the staples, maybe get a couple different decks to try out and just see how I like them. This is a good product for that. Perhaps maybe I even go in with some friends and we all invest and divvy up the 4 decks amongst ourselves, and that way you're still getting a taste of the product, but you're not paying the full price for it. That could be a way to go too. Now, experienced Commander players, again, unless you're really interested in those foils, which you could pick up as singles most likely, then I don't know if this is a product for you. And obviously, if I'm not a Commander player or a Cube player, I guess Cube players could definitely benefit from this as well, because there's good Cube essentials in here if you don't already have them. But if you're not in one of those two categories, if you're a Standard or a Modern player, for example, or a Legacy or even Vintage player, there's not a whole lot for you here, quite honestly. You're just better off picking up a single or two that you're interested in, as opposed to trying to pick up this whole box set. There's just not a lot of cards that translate well into those formats that you'll find here. Now, the other person that might actually be interested in this is somebody who is a little more casual, that perhaps has a lot of friends that used to play Magic but don't anymore, and they don't have their own decks. You could actually pick this up and kind of treat it as a board game and have like Magic Night, invite 3 friends over and play Commander, and just kind of keep it in your closet with your Monopoly and your Risk, right? Like, I think that could be pretty fun too for certain players, for the right individual. So those are the people that are really going to benefit, I think, the most from this particular product. Now, having said that, this has been a fun trip down memory lane looking at these 4 decks. We will be back on Saturday, of course, with our normal Market Watch video. We have a whole lot of stuff lined up for next week, as Arch Enemy previews will be going on. It's actually pretty exciting. But until then, hey, thanks for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks for watching. This video is made possible by the generous support of viewers like you on Patreon. Check out the description below for links to our Patreon page, as well as our Amazon affiliate store, where a small percentage of all sales will also help support the channel. Finally, if you haven't had a chance yet to subscribe, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos on Heroes and Legends. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.